So nobody knew who I was. You're a number.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. It's really wild. There were very famous people that were in the NFL that no one knew what they looked like because they were always wearing a helmet and the whole thing. It's different with basketball or soccer or whatever. But the NFL at the time didn't really want you to be a very recognized person. So when I came out to Hollywood, I actually tried my hand at animation.
Really?
And my portfolio was in at Disney, at DreamWorks, at Hanna-Barbera.
Wow.
And I was getting pretty far. It was really good. Like my portfolio was building, and what you had to do was keep submitting your portfolio. And I had gotten really, really good because what was happening is as I got cut from every NFL team, I would humble myself and go back in the locker room and ask the players if they wanted their portraits painted. Because I knew that was a way to sustain myself. You know, I said, instead of working at A&P, some grocery store, I would much rather get like $5,000 for a painting that would take me maybe 2 months to do, and it would allow me to feed my family. And players, they gave me money to paint them, and I would go in there like, I'm going to paint you over the city, and I'm going to make you look all amazing. And I had all these great examples. And dude, they were like, man, I want that, man. I want, put me over the city, man. And it was like, it was kind of cool because I had a portfolio coming out of the NFL of players and athletes that I had painted over the years. I had done basketball players, football players, the whole thing. And so that helped me to get my animation portfolio together. But this was the thing. Toy Story came out. And the computer-generated animation killed hand-drawn animation. I was in line while they were they were interviewing artists for DreamWorks for Prince of Egypt. And I remember being in line and submitting my portfolio and the whole thing. And it was like overnight, it was over. Like a lot of those artists, hand-drawn guys, couldn't do computers, and I couldn't either. I didn't even know how to do it. All I knew was a pencil, a pad, some colored pencils. I knew how to be an in-betweener and all that stuff, but the other stuff was done, and I was like back to security. I was sweeping floors at factories. I was filing all the papers that fell over in the Northridge earthquake at the Veterans Administration. I did that for like 8 months. Anything to just laugh. I mean, I didn't make a lot of money in the NFL because I was so transient. So it was like here today, gone tomorrow. And it was really, really wild. And a friend of mine invited me to an audition. You got to understand, I never wanted to act, ever. I thought I was a creator. I was going to be this guy. And the audition was for a show called Battle Dome. And it was like American Gladiators on steroids. Okay. And the first thing I ever auditioned for, and I got it. And now my life changed. It was in front of the camera. And I remember my wife coming to a show and she was like, you really got a knack for this. I was like, because, as an artist, all I did was like, I envisioned what I wanted to film. So I said, I have to be the person that I would love to put in my movie or in my show.
Right.
And that was my acting technique, and it worked. It worked. And let me tell you, that was 25 years ago, over 25 years ago. And I can't believe the career that's happened. It's kind of wild because you kind of follow, I almost like looking at, I feel like I was holding on to a log and you just let the river take you where it goes. You know what I mean? And don't resist anything. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, one thing I noticed is that there are a lot of people like, if this happens, no, say no to that and no to that. It's got to be this path. But I never did that. It was like, just go, just follow. Like the fact that the audition was presented to me and I went, that's changed my life forever. So I knew as new opportunities come, try it, go for it. You don't know if this is going to be the key for you or not.
Terry, that reminds me of something you said about Arnold Schwarzenegger from working with him. You mentioned that he encouraged you to try everything.
Yes.
Drama, comedy, horror, all sorts of films.
Yes.
But I wanted to ask, what was an opportunity that you went after that scared you the most?
It's funny you would mention Arnold Schwarzenegger because I have a story about that. It's funny because the first time I got a movie role, it was a movie called The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was giant. It was a $100 million movie shooting in Vancouver. And I had never acted before. Like, I had done this TV show, Battle Dome, which was kind of a game show and all that, but not like, here I am. This is a big movie. And I will never forget my scene with Arnold. I was supposed to walk up to him on his steps of his house, and I was like, Adam Gibson, come with us. And I walked up there, and Arnold turns around, looks me in my face, and I'm like, and I didn't say a word. I couldn't speak. And something magically went wrong with the camera. And they were like, oh, we got to reset. I'm sorry, we got to reset. And I remember pulling myself to the side, and I was like, Terry, do you want to go back to doing security? You want to go back to sweeping floors? Hey, man, I know you're scared, but do it anyway. Do it, do it, do it. You have no other recourse here. Your family, your future, your kids, everything is hinging on this moment right now. And when they started, and then they started up again, and I was like, Adam Gibson, come with us. And he was like, I like this guy. He's really good. He comes with the heat, And I was like, after that, I knew to go in. Like, because you're going to be afraid. You're going to be scared. But I learned also there's a big difference between fear and excitement. Fear and excitement feel exactly the same. And you have to know the difference. If you're fearful, you tank, you stop. But if you feel those bubbles and you decide that you're going to be excited, you get better. It becomes your performance rises. So I took all those bubbles and started to understand I'm excited. I'm not fearful. I'm excited. And all of a sudden that changed everything for me. And I mean, it became where I didn't want to run from the camera. Even though I may feel fearful or I know, no, it's excitement. You're excited. Don't be scared. And all of a sudden, everyone gets on board with you. It's amazing.
I heard this story. Everyone knows that famous scene in White Chicks
Yes.
where, it's epic. I feel like I've played that video so many times.
How did you know? I love this song.